Hey everybody, welcome to Garrett's Games. We are a podcast and a video series about board games. On the podcast, we talk about a couple board games every week, and on the video series, which is brand new, we talk about a specific board game, and we hope to share it with you, let you know about it, and you come away saying, hey, that might be something I want to play. I'm Doug.
I'm Shelley.
And we are going to be talking about Sparks from Alion Games, designed by, okay, I've got to go through the list. Hang on just a second. There's 4 people. This is Adrian, Adamescu, Purluca, Florin, Kjetil, Svendsen, and Kristian, Ostby. Whew. All right. So those 4 designers and Alion Games, which is a new publisher, kind of a subset, and they've been around. Kristian Ostby has been a designer for a while, and he's with, and I'm going to forget the name of it. I wrote it right down here. All right, it's right there. All right, that's there. Yeah, Aporta Games.
Good,
yeah. Whew. All right, so Aporta Games, and then this is a new publisher or a new subsidiary of more family-friendly games, I would say, that they've started, and with a bunch of people, it looks like. So we're going to talk a little bit today about Sparks, but before we do, remember, you want to subscribe, you want to give us a thumbs up. You can help us out by going down into the show notes, checking out patreon.com/GarrettsGames, or check out that other link down there to see all of the games that no longer fit on our shelves but belong on your table. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about Sparks. So in Sparks, as the cover implies, you are going to be building robots, all right? You are going to be doing that with a bunch of dice. All right, you're going to be playing over 4 rounds. In each of those rounds, each person is going to have the turn as an active player, and then you can have, but even if you're not the active player, you are going to be able to participate, because in a 2-player game, you're going to be drafting 2 of the leftover dice, and in a 3 or 4-player game, you are going to be drafting 1 of the leftover dice. In turn, the active player, okay, and so there'll be, in our case, 2 turns in a round, is going to choose one of the 4 tiles that they have at the top of their board. In a 2 or 3-player game, these are the 4 choices you have: either 3 dice plus 2 more from the bag, 3 dice from anywhere in the row, and we'll set out the row in a minute. Yeah. I should say you have to choose from one side or the other otherwise. Mm-hmm. The 4 dice, but you can re-roll any or all of them, or 5 dice, all right? In the 4-player game, you only get 2 dice and a cog, okay? So that's the situation. You're going to choose one of these, and there'll be 1 time use for each of the 4 rounds. Once you've used, say, this one, boom, just turn it over, and it is done.
And I don't have to necessarily pick that one next time. I can pick any one that fits.
Exactly. Not everybody has to do the same.
Based on the rolls that come out.
Exactly. Now, what they say is you can grab out of the bag and just blindly put them out, or you could take one out of the bag and roll 1 at a time each time. Okay, I'm just blindly taking them out of the bag, but the key here is that they are set at that number, and you want to do them 1 at a time because you're not grouping them, even though, of course, we ended up with 2 yellows there. So if it were my turn, I'm going to choose one of these 3 things. So say I chose this choice. This is 3 dice and then 2 from the bag. Well, why might I choose that, or why might I do that? Well, let's see what we've got to do here. We are going to be using these dice to build our robots. Now, at the start of the game, you get 4 robots in your hand, and you got to choose 3 of those 4 robots that you get. 4th one goes down the bottom of the deck, and you can see that I've got 2 yellow robots here and a blue robot. Shelley has a green, a yellow, and a blue robot. And you can see, in order to build these, I'm going to need a yellow die of any value, a 2 of any color, and a 4 of any color to do this one. Here's just 2, a blue and then a 6 of any color. This is going to be a yellow and a green, any value, and a 1 of any color, all right? When you complete a robot, you immediately come over here and say I completed this robot, all right? I would have had to have those 3 dice on it. I am going to first advance on the yellow track, and then I get a because there's a yellow arrow up here, and then I get a one-time advance on any track that I want. Well, since there are bonuses at various intervals on the track, I might want to make sure that I advance again on the yellow track so that I get one of these little zappers. Zappers are good. We'll talk about those in a minute. The other thing, of course, that I can do is I can use my dice that I draft to place in this area so that, and notice I am the red color, and any die but red I can put over here, one of each type. And if I increase if I get a value of 5 or more, I can go up 1 step. I also get one of these bonus tiles, which we'll talk about in a minute. Go up with 7 more.
Yeah.
I would have to, then I can get another zapper and so on and so forth. Why would I want to advance up that? Well, because the other type of cards that I have are these assistant cards. Assistant cards get played as an action during your turn. They cost as many assistants as have been currently played plus 1 in cogs. All right? So if I haven't played as many assistants, 0 plus 1, I'd have to play 1 cog to play this assistant card. And in so doing, maybe that's a really good card because I draw 2 dice from the bag and I set them at value 1 for 1 time. Say I did this one. This would mean for the rest of the game, I'm going to, anytime I could advance on red, I of course don't have any red robots.
I don't either, but they are in here.
But they are in here, they're in the deck. I can make it any color instead of just red. And at the end of the game, I'm going to get 2 points.
So all the cards are pretty cool. Here's one that says that when you complete the robot, you go, of course, go up in its color. Oh, this one doesn't have a color at the top.
This isn't a robot. This is an assistant.
Excuse me. Yeah. This is the assistant. And basically, if you accomplish this one, you get to go up on these 2 tracks one time.
The blue and the green, one step each. So you put that out. However many assistants you have played at the end of the game, times however high you got on this track over here is part of your scoring. So not only do you get the bonus of the zappers and the bonuses there, and the assistant actions, you get a multiplier effect on your assistants. So what are these bonuses? Well, a couple of them, this one, and this one, can go above your robots. So when you complete a robot, so for example, if I had, say, moved on the blue track twice, I get to choose which one I want. I can only take one of any of these. And say I put it here, when I complete this robot, I then bump up in yellow and bump up again in yellow. So, or if this robot were here, I'd bump up in blue and bump up again in blue. So whatever bump you get in your track, you get a double bump on that. Okay?
And you could choose whichever one of those you wanted, right?
Exactly.
Here's one that allows you to get an extra cog.
Yeah, immediately get a cog and remember, cogs allow you to play assistants. This one, you can usually trade in a die to get a cog. This is trade in a die and get 2 cogs.
Because cogs aren't just used to buy assistants, they're also used to manipulate the die values.
Good. Yeah, why don't you go over that right now?
Basically, though, for that, you could raise up a die value if you turned in a cog, or you could turn in 2 cogs to get this to, 1 to go up to 2 to 3 to 4.
That is right here on your little player board. Plus or minus. You can't flip around, so a 6 doesn't become a 1 doesn't become a 6, but otherwise. You can even use, here as it says on the player board, 2 cogs to make a die any color rather than the color it is. And then, of course, you spend cogs to do assistance.
Right.
Now, the robots, when you complete them, either give you a one-time bonus or they give you a multiple chances of bonuses and such. So for example, I complete this card, for 1 time I'm going to get 2 cogs, and then I'm basically done with that card after I've bumped up on the thing.
There are some special cards that have zappers on them, and those are robots that you can use over and over once you've accomplished them. But you can only use them 1 time per round.
Yeah.
And you have to have the zapper in order to use it.
You know, you start with one zapper, okay, and you have a spot that you can use it immediately to get a cog here on your board, and these stay here till the end of the round, but don't get used. They actually come back into your storage after the round is over. So there, you'll be able to use them for up to 4 times, and you can see Shelley has 2 cards. That one over there that she had.
This one here, if I put a cog on it, then
a zapper on it.
Excuse me, if I get a zapper on it, I get to pull from the bag to see whatever color it might be, and I get to set it at a value 2.
So she pulls,
so
and
I pull
boom,
it,
and you get a red,
which I can use right now.
Exactly. This 2 goes into her storage,
And
and
I'm
she
going
can
to
use
use that right away.
Yeah.
Because I can put it on it maybe in one of my other cards or something like that. This is just a zapper that can give an extra 5 to going up on the
assistant multiplier track,
which gives you more zappers or gives you more of these type of tools over here, which you definitely need as well. And then there's one here where
that's just a one-time. Getting you get a cog and draw a new animal card. Yeah. Mine here, you can see I get a zapper. I basically get a yellow die. I could take it from the discarded yellow dice, and this one is a one-time advance in whatever color I want, and so on and so forth. So you're going to go through. So say I choose. Back to where we started, right. I choose this particular one. I'm the start player. I'm the active player. That means I'm going to draw 3 dice over here. And since I've got 2 yellow cards,
Actually, both ends are great for you.
But they're both pretty darn good, right? Because if I take these 3, I've got the 1 that I need. I've got the 4 and the 2 that I need, right? So that's a good thing. So I probably would want to do that. But here I've got a 6. And I think I'm going to take these 3 because not only do I get that, I get to draw 2 more from the bag, roll them up, and of course I get reds when I don't have any reds. But these are going to now go, and now I'm going to try and distribute all of these. Shelley now, in a 2-player game, gets to either take these 2 or these 2. She doesn't get to choose any 2. It has to be from one end or the other. All right? So she's going to choose that.
So I probably would choose maybe, is there any value 4 there? Yes, but I can't get the yellow, so that's a bummer. And there's a blue and a 2. So I probably would take these 2. And then I will put this onto my robot here.
Right. Now, I chose really badly, and this is, again, sometimes how the luck of the draw goes.
It's very unusual.
I've got red and as my color, but notice I can't put any red over here, and I can only keep 1 die from round to round. Now that we have chosen our dice, and here's a nice thing about the game, is that we both can work simultaneously. All right. So I'm over here, and I'm gonna get red over there. I can use that there. I can't put anything. The one thing that I could do is I can put a zapper here to get a cog, and then I could change something, right? So I'm good here because I can put yellow on that spot, and I got a yellow on that spot, and at the very least I can use my cog to make this 3 either into a 2 or into a 4. Either one, maybe that. I do that, and then I can't use that 6, but I can hold 1 die over.
That actually turned out great for you.
It turned out okay, but I haven't completed anything. Whereas if I had chosen that other thing, I probably would have been able to complete something here in this first turn. Now Shelley had.
Now why do I have this one?
Because we chose that for that one down here.
Okay.
She only gets her 2 dice,
that's it.
and so she's got hers set. And now it would be her turn to choose as the second half of the round, and she gets to choose. We put out more dice. These go away, and we choose, and we just move on from there.
And there's the same amount of dice of every color in the bag, so it was kind of unusual for you to get so many red, but that could happen.
Right, it can happen, exactly.
Yeah, right.
That would have been really good towards the end of the game if I had gotten, for example, this bonus. There's 2 things that are color specific to your color, and so if I had this one isn't as good as there's another one. This one. So there's only 6 of the 8 types in the game, and if I had both of these, this could mean your red dice could be any color and any number. So if I had this, I could be like, you know what? This is going to be a 2. Yeah, I've got that. And I could complete this and I'd be set. Whenever you complete a robot, the dice go away into the discard pile. It comes off there and now I get 2 and I get to place and, I just chose that at random, but then I get that new one to fill my spot. The last thing is, though you don't need to play it in the game, you can put 2 end game bonus tiles out here, and everybody knows that from the beginning of the game. And in this case, this would be building 6 of your assistants. That's a lot, but it would be certainly something that you would know from the start that you could focus on. Or this one would be getting 2 of the tracks here over at least the first 2 hurdles of the, or is that 1, 2, is that 3? I think that might be even 3. Getting 2 tracks up really, really far. It would be reach the 3rd bonus space. So 1, 2, 3. Getting 2 tracks all the way up to that 3rd bonus space.
But if you got this one, it would be a wild bump any color. Or some of your robots might allow that to happen too. Or some of the robots, or some of the helpers give you things like that too. Where
right, as Shelley said,
that one before,
a bump in 2 different in blue and
colors,
green.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Or here's one where you can make any die value, a 5 or a 6, into a wild
Once
bumper.
every turn, you can bump up something, getting rid of a die to do a bump.
Too.
That's really nice.
Or if you need to get all of those assistants out there, you're going to definitely want some cog generation too.
Definitely. So that's Sparks. So what do you think, Honey Bunch?
I think it's great. I love this game. It's a lot of fun. And there's very little downtime because you're playing simultaneously when you're deciding where you want to put your dice.
Definitely.
And I think it's fun to try to get the different robots and to try to make it so that they kind of play off of each other. Maybe if you get some zappers, you get some good benefits. And
it's nice when you get that going.
And you can't get this, too many zappers unless you work really hard at getting those zappers, but you can get them here and you can get them over here. But once you do, then you get to activate something that gives you more dice.
Right.
When you're maybe hoping to get a certain color, but you don't. You're grabbing it from the bag. It's random. But you at least get to set it on a certain number.
I should say that one of the things that I forgot to mention earlier is that getting a set of 1 of each of the 4 colors of robots is 3 points for each set at the end of the game. So neither of us had red robots, so we're both like, I need a red.
But the issue is too, though, if you need to get 2 of these tracks high, you may not want to have that as well because you're like, well, I really want to get these bonus points. So maybe I'm just going to focus on the other colors. That are
it's a really fun game.
It is fun.
There's a little bit of dice manipulation going on here, and a lot of that. If I can do this, then that'll lead to this, and then I can do that thing over here and add an assistant, and that assistant is going to do this thing, and
getting these special tiles above the robots.
Oh, very important.
Very important.
Got to do it.
If you don't do that, you probably won't do as well in the game.
That's true.
I know that from experience.
Oh, man. Yeah, so again, this is Sparks from Alion Games and designed by 4 different designers who are listed right over here. I'm not going to say their names again, but they're awesome people, and they designed this game. This is for 1 to 4 players and plays in about 30 to 45 minutes. Well, that'll do it for this week. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can give us a thumbs up and subscribe here. And remember, you can support us at patreon.com/GarrettsGames, or again, down in the show notes, check out that extensive list of games that no longer fit on our shelves, but belong on your table. Until next time, have a great one. We'll see you later. Bye.